mitochondria are present in that particular adipose tissue. That adipose tissue we call it as brown fat because of it contains more number of cytochromes, especially in newborn, that is mammals. Okay, so if you see this diagrammatic representation, again here this diagrammatic representation is very important. So same thing, what we discussed in the electron transport chain, complex 1, complex 2, complex 3 and complex 4, right, from here, this side, okay, complex 1, complex 2, complex 3 and complex 4. So there is a flow of electron over here. Generally what will happen, what we discussed based on the mechanism of oxidative phosphorylation, so it pumps the H plus ion from the matrix to the cytosolic side. So once the H plus ion pumps to the cytosolic side, increase the H plus ion concentration, what will happen? It activates, it comes and binds with the ATP synthase. That means it activates the ATP synthase, so thereby phosphorylates ADP, which is involved in formation, ATP formation in case of oxidative phosphorylation. But this is not oxidative phosphorylation. This diagrammatic representation is related to brown fat. So here you can see the same reaction, but the H plus ion concentration, that means proton motive force, is not diverted towards ATP production. Instead, so it is coupled with this uncoupling protein, that is thermogenin. Thermogenin is a protein, right? If you see the explanation part, so newborn mammals, including humans, so we have this adipose tissue, especially we call it as brown fat. So here the fuels which are getting oxidized, the fatty acid, carbohydrates, so proteins, all these fuels which get oxidized serves not to produce ATP. So they are not involved, the oxidation of all these metabolites are not involved in production of ATP. Instead, they are involved in generating the heat. So with the help of the presence of the uncoupling protein, so that uncoupling protein we call it as thermogenin, right? So this is a brown fat is a specialized form of adipose tissue. Why it appears as brown color? Because it contains more number of mitochondria. So more mitochondria is present, and then large amount of cytochromes are also present. And we know that cytochromes contains heme group. Heme is the central metal atom. And these, because of the presence of large number of these heme groups, it absorbs, they are able to absorb the visible lights. So they are strong absorbers of visible light. And this mitochondria brown fat, so it is very similar to that of the other, that means mitochondria which is present in the other mammal cells, but it has a unique protein. So that unique protein we call it as thermogenin. So due to presence of this thermogenin, so instead of binding with ATP synthase, that is ATP synthase complex, it binds with uncoupling protein and it provides spark, especially for generating the heat. So that is the importance of brown fats. Okay, so brown fats, and here the key terms are thermogenin, large number of mitochondria, and then large amount of cytochromes. So which is involved in, yes, please. So binding this F1 complex, instead of, not involved in binding the F1 complex, instead it binds with the uncoupling protein, that is thermogenin, and it generates the heat, more heat. So that is the importance of brown fats. Next one is, next unit is third unit, amino